Administrative item number 4.1, pre-2011 excess bond proceeds funding agreement. Mr. Biddle.
Yes, and I'll just note that this is also on your council agenda, item 8.1. And additionally, sorry? Oh, that's fine. Additionally, I put on your dais, and there are copies up here for anybody who wants Ken,
you got a discotheque going on back there?
There's a green line version that shows changes against what was initially put in the packet to make some corrections as to the actual dollar amount that we are talking about as part of this funding agreement, as well as the fund that it's coming out of. So essentially what this is a funding agreement between the city and the successor agency. It's one of the benefits that flows out of the dissolution process once the successor agency obtained its finding of completion from the Department of Finance. Once that it was obtained, the successor agency was then able to utilize pre-2011 excess bond proceeds for the purposes for which they were initially issued. And in this context, the
Ken.
In this context, there when the redevelopment agency was dissolved, there was approximately $24.5 million of bond proceeds that were still left unexpended. Previously, the council and successor agency authorized an agreement for funding of $21.2 million for the ECCL project. The balance remaining was approximately $3.3 million. This agreement calls for the transfer to the city of roughly $3.8 million. Where the extra roughly $500,000 comes from is that the city has sought a grant of roughly $465,000 for the ECCL project. That have we haven't heard back. Okay, so it's on the prospect that if we do obtain it, then we'll be able to put those funds into the ECCL project, remove a like amount that was pledged already, and then be able to use them for redevelopment projects pursuant to this funding agreement. So that's the purpose of the agreement. Again, it provides for roughly $3.8 million that the city could then utilize to expend on projects that were identified in the 5-year not the capital improvement program, but the 5-year implementation plan of the redevelopment agency. Some of those projects I just mentioned in the staff report would include the pedestrian bridge, South Bayfront pedestrian bridge, the art center, things of that nature. There's a whole laundry list of projects that you probably have seen that are in that plan, and so you have the ability to allocate those funds as part of your CIP, which is a discussion the council will be having in the coming months. So with that, we're recommending approval.
Questions, comments from council?
Yeah, I'd just like to make a comment.
Yeah.
An awful lot of work has gone into this, and we owe a big debt to staff for the meticulous way in which they are pursuing these particular arcane arrangements that have come upon us from the demise of the redevelopment agency. And I would move this resolution. I think we're certainly keeping up in a timely fashion with this change. So I'd make that motion.
I would second it.
And I'd just like to add that it's very interesting if anyone's interested in kind of a snapshot in time of where redevelopment was in 2010, just before dissolution. This 5-year implementation plan not only covers what was completed with redevelopment funds, but it also anticipates a number of projects which will never materialize because of the end of redevelopment, but it really is a snapshot of where Emeryville was and where it was going. And as we consider our capital improvement program, our SIP, as we call it, plan this spring, we'll be grappling with some of those same projects and recognizing that we're never going to be able to do what once we thought possible.
Thank you.
That's a motion.
However, that means that there are other funds that have been freed up for many other purposes as well, so it's not all one way or the other.
That's a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay. And 4.2, resolution of the City of Emeryville as successor agency to the Emeryville Redevelopment Agency, approving and adopting the ROPS for the period of July 1st, 2014 through December 31st, 2014.